Hey, Buff, are you here? Did you leave already? See if a few people are going to stop in. Well, doesn't look like there's going to be anything to watch. Let's see. No, it doesn't look like anyone's here. Give it a couple more minutes. What's up, man? I'm over here trying to figure out this trial information. Someone saying that the trial's off now. So I had not heard that. So that's what I'm trying to dig in and find out because it was supposed to happen in May. But now it looks like it may not. Can you hear me okay? Okay, cool. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody's coming in here hardly. So I was hoping people would be able to give me some clarity on this. Yeah, because I don't know why there's not a single headline saying that the case has been thrown out or whatever. That's what doesn't make sense to me. I would have thought that was a headline because it should have been like a celebration that Fiona wasn't going to get a penny out of Netflix. I would have thought that was good news, but apparently it's just completely silent. There's not been a single headline saying that this case is over. But someone sent this to me saying that this states that the case is that the trial is dissolved, or at least for the time being. Fiona can appeal, but she probably won't. And even if she does, she's probably not going to win. All right, we've got about 6 people in here now. Let me know in the chat if you what you know about this. See, the thing is, I can't buy this document. Yeah, because the Pacer's like $50 to subscribe for a month. I'm not paying that. I paid that a couple months before, and I lost money. I downloaded probably a couple $100 worth of documents and the $50 a month fee. Yeah, it's just too much. I'm not doing that again. But I just want this one document, but I don't want to pay $50 for it. I think that you can buy it for like $5 per page. I don't that's too much. $5 per page if you don't pay the $50 a month fee. But I wanted to get more than just one page. I wanted to get a few of the last pages to try to shed light on exactly what's going on the case. So I'm kind of stuck right now because I need to buy this document here. But let's see here. Please install recap. I don't even know what recap is. I really don't want to put an extension on there if I can help it. Look at this, continue to pacer. Okay, see, it took me to another site. You can't even see it on here. Now it's making me create an account. I don't want to go through all that. I just want to see the document. That's all I want to look at. That's what I'm trying to figure out, Kaz. It looks like someone has told me that the trial was off. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Okay. The last video I made last year was in October, the Richard Gadd one, and it got like 100,000 views. I was going to follow that up with the Laura Ray, but a bunch of stuff came up with me, so I wasn't able to make the video. I finally got it up a few days ago, or actually yesterday, and the views are dried up. Like the attention is just gone now. Like, I mean, my last video got 100,000 views. This one got 1,000 views. So the views have dried up 100-fold. And sorry, let me go back because this is a blur to me. October, the trial was set for May. That's when I made the video with Richard Gadd. I was waiting until May, and I was planning to make a slew of videos to cover the trial. Now, news to me yesterday, here we are 4 months later. Oh, no, there is no trial. There's not been a single headline stating that. Now, yes, I'm in agreement. She does deserve nothing, and that's good if there's no trial. If it's been thrown out, awesome. It's just that it was never announced, and I don't understand why, because this was the biggest story on the internet for a few months. May and June, I mean, it was huge. And I understand that it faded throughout the summer, but it was set for the spring of 2025 for the trial. And that's when it was going to pick back up. And now all of a sudden it's just gone. There's nothing. But according to this document here, it says order granting joint stipulation to stay action. See, I don't know all the legal jargon. I don't know what a stay is. But from what it looks like, meaning that it's stopping the case, basically. Joint stipulation to stay action pending defendant's appeal of order denying defendant's special motion to strike by Judge R. Gary Klossner as follows. Proceedings in this court have been stayed as of 10/3/2024. Now, the last video I made was October 29th, the one Richard Gadd. And I had not heard anything about a stay at that point or whatever this legal jargon is. Have been stayed as of 10/3/2024 and are stayed until the exhaustion of defendant's appeal of the court denial of defendant's special motion to strike. 2, all pretrial deadlines and dates in the trial dates are vacated. 3, in the event the United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit affirms the denial of defendant's special motion to strike or otherwise remands the case back to this court, the court shall lift the stay and enter a scheduling order with new pretrial deadlines and dates in a new trial date, entered October 11th. Okay, so it's possible it is possible that if she was, I guess this is an appeal, she could win and get and get a new date for a trial. But if Netflix was able to get a stay here, I doubt she's going to win the appeal. Now, see, she hasn't really a leg to stand on. Her behavior is questionable. If you go back and you look at my first couple of videos, I said there's no way in hell she's going to win anything from Netflix. But then as Piers Morgan continued reporting and all these reports came out, it was saying it has nothing to do with her behavior, that it was completely separate from her behavior. And that because she had not legally been convicted, she actually had a legitimate lawsuit. So at that point, I was saying, okay, it looks like she's going to weasel her way into some money, probably get a settlement, which I said that on the video. I made a video. Okay, I can't even share on here. Let me see. I can only do one site at a time. When I did it before, I could have multiple pages open. Let me see if I can get this. Can you see the YouTube page I'm opening up on this tab, or do you only see the live stream? I'm trying to pull up my page, my channel. Here we go. Okay. All right, let me see if I can share this on the screen here. I need to separate it. Okay. Let me see if I can pull this up. Okay, I have to stop the other one. Okay, anyways, I can't pull up my YouTube page. This is only allowing me to display the one page at a time, which is this page. Okay, I'm able to work this one. But if you go and look at, I have this video exposing Fiona Harvey's Netflix scheme. And I pointed out how her and her attorney, they know, just like Lee says here, she doesn't have a leg to stand on, but they're hoping to get a settlement. So that was her strategy, I believe. All right. I don't think anybody knows what that's about in here. Sketchy. You are sketchy because I don't know who you are. And you are talking here, putting up heart emojis as if you're a big fan of Gary 828, but yet I've never even seen you in the comment section before. So every time I come on a live stream, I've got new people that I've never even heard of. So why don't you guys drop me some comments so I know who you are when you come in the live stream? Isn't there a law where you can't profit from a crime? There should be. Man, I tell you that the system is so complex, and there are things you can do. You can be slippery and you can commit crimes and get away with them. And sometimes you can even be rewarded. So, yes, you would definitely think so. But who the heck knows? Yeah. Yeah, I'm just messing with you. How do you watch my channel? Do you watch the Fiona Harvey videos? Because I haven't seen you before. New channel, had to find your channel, make sure I was resubbed. Oh, what was your old channel? Yeah, I really need to open this document so I can really get get the details, or at least see a legal document. Because if I can see the legal document, I think I can get an idea. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been consistent. I've had a lot of things going on. I'm gonna try to be more consistent though. But I've still got some things going on. I have some things going on probably throughout the rest of the year, on and off. I've got multiple things going on. I've got yeah, I don't want to talk about some of the stuff I got going on, but I've got a lot of things going on. But I'm hoping by late in the year, maybe I can start being like really consistent. And there will be, consider me like Wi-Fi. There will be times where you'll get real clear Wi-Fi, and then as you travel further, you're going to come into a dead area. That's kind of how my channel is. 1 month is really hot, and the next month is really cold. That's because, like I said, I apologize because I'm so inconsistent because I've got other things going on I'm dealing with my mother's estate, and that is taking me a lot of time. So, and then I got health issues. So, but yeah, just bear with me. I hopefully later in the year I'll be able to stay consistent. Yeah, 'cause that's the name of the game on YouTube. If you're inconsistent, it's going to be hard for you to keep up. That's why, I mean, I hadn't uploaded in like 4 months. So the last video I made in October got 100,000 views. And then the video I made yesterday has only got 1,000 views. That's what happens when you don't upload for 4 months. But like I said, I had a lot of things going on. But yeah, Sketch, I'll try to have some good content, hopefully. Netflix stated it was a true story, but she didn't go to prison. Then they slandered her, and since everyone seemed to know who she was before she came forward, she might legitimately have a claim. Yeah, that's why I was saying that she might weasel her way into some money. She doesn't deserve it, but legally speaking, I mean, she may have a point, but at the same time, they didn't say on the show that it was Fiona Harvey. It was a fictional character based off Fiona Harvey, and her identity was changed. So there's that as well. So Netflix has that to defend themselves with. The character's name was Martha. It was not Fiona. Oh, okay. Well, that was a long time ago. I only made one video with him, but you might have seen the video. I had to upload it, and when I uploaded, I put it into eight different parts. I think 8 or 10 parts, because I only made one video, Chris Asala, and it was like over 2 hours. So when I re-uploaded it, I split it into parts. Okay, huge scripture nerd mostly, but look forward. Okay. Yeah, I want to make some more Christian content. It's just that I used to make Christian content as a hobby, even to expose video. That Chris LaSala video was a hobby, but I haven't been able to find a job. So the only source of income I have coming in is from YouTube, and I don't want to make Christian content for money. So that's why I'm trying to find videos that I can make and earn some money for myself. That's another thing, because of my health, it's hard for me to find a job also, because I can't stand on my feet for extended periods of time. And then on top of that, I mean, it's hard to compete in the job force anyways. So yeah, I have to try to make money on YouTube if I can. And that's why I don't make Christian content anymore, because I don't want to, make Christian content for money, because then everyone's like, oh, you're just making this for money. So lose. Yeah, if I find a job and way to bring in more money, then yeah, I'll make some more Christian content, because I like making Christian content. Yep. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Especially the way of the world right now. Yeah. I think that added to the intrigue, saying that it was a true story. Yep. I appreciate that. I may end up having to get rid of my cats, because I I don't have the money really to take care of them anymore. So that's yeah, unfortunately. I mean, I still got them right now, but I don't know for much longer. Yeah. Yeah, I made a lot of videos on him, because he was scamming people. He was using Christianity strictly just to make money. I mean, I don't have a problem with a Christian making content on YouTube and earning money from it, as long as they're being genuine. I don't have a problem with it. And it's not that I feel like convicted or guilty if I was to earn money on Christian content. It's just I don't want everyone coming at me saying, oh, you're only making Christian content for money. I don't want people saying that. See, the thing about Mario is he was not even a legitimate Christian. He was pretending to be a Christian to make money. Like, he was trolling. And that's why I was making those videos and trying to point out to people. See, that's a difference. And on top of that, even if he was a genuine believer, I mean, if he's got all those problems, drug habits and the mental illness and everything that he was dealing with, well, then he wasn't in a position to try to lead and teach a ministry. You need to be a mature Christian if you're going to try to run a ministry. And that's another thing. I'm not a very mature Christian. That's why I'm not trying to lead a ministry. Now, any of us can share the gospel. You don't have to be a very mature Christian to do that, although you should try to be. But anybody can share the gospel. But that's not what Mario is doing. Mario was trying to teach, and he was advertising himself as being a Christian leader and teacher. Meanwhile, he's addicted to drugs. He's doing all kinds of perverse acts with other men. all kinds of crazy things with minors. Um, yeah, yeah. That's the thing is when I was making the videos about Mario, it was a hobby. I wasn't making money at that time. And everyone was saying, "Oh, you're doing this for money." And I'm like, "I haven't made a penny. My channel's not monetized. It could have been." And it wasn't until after Mario went away that I decided to monetize my channel. It was like way later. And then Mario came back. So the second half of the videos I made about Mario from 2020, I monetized at the end of 2019. When I first started making the videos about Mario, it was January 2019. That's when he got exposed for having the nudes of men, his godly bros. Marco, in case you didn't know, this dude had a group, a men's ministry, and he called them the godly bros, right? Then he got exposed. He had naked pics of his godly bros on his phone. This guy was he was such a hypocrite and a liar. And so that's when I started making exposed videos. And for the first half of 2019, he was still around and I was making tons of videos on him. And they were trending because he was still around. Then when he went to rehab, like he said, then I stopped making the videos about him. And that is when I monetized. Then when he came back in 2020, my channel was monetized. So I may have made a little money off those videos. But since he's been gone since 2021, I haven't made any more videos about him. Because that's what he always said. He says, "Oh, you're only doing this, making these videos about me for money." Because that was his defense. So, yeah, I tell you, I probably lost 20 grand in 2019. If I had been monetized, I probably would have made around 20 grand. Because I was getting like that cat rescue video was going viral. That video has 2.4 million views right now. And in 2019, it got like a million views. It was getting 25,000 views every day, and I wasn't monetized. And I did the calculations at the end of the year. And between that and the videos I made about Mario, it was around 15 to 20 grand in that neighborhood. And I wasn't monetized. And boy, oh boy, could I use that money now. So now I kind of wish I had been monetized. But I didn't even consider it at the time because so many people were saying, "Oh, you're just doing it for money." And I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm not even monetized." And I wasn't. What's up, Tomcat? Super sticker. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kaz. Appreciate that. Oh, you saw the Mario videos, Mac? Marco? Because you never said anything to me about them, I don't think. Poetry, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, you got some people talking about some of my old videos. Hey, let me tell all my viewers here, my new viewers who subscribe to me, when I started doing the Fiona Harvey stuff, you should go back and look at some of the videos I did on Vigilant Christian Mario. Because if you think this is an interesting story, Fiona Harvey, I think you would think the videos I made on Vigilant Christian Mario were interesting too. He's a scam artist. He came on YouTube and pretended to be a Christian, and he got like 500,000 subscribers. And I could tell the guy was a phony. And I started making videos exposing him. And it was ongoing for like a good 2.5 years. So if you like the videos I made about Fiona Harvey, and it's kind of stagnant right now because We don't know if this thing's completely over or if it's just on a pause. But if you like these videos I made, you'll like the videos I did on Vigilant Christian Mario. And I have a playlist. If you go to my channel, I would pull it up, but it's only allowing me to display one page at a time. So I can't go back and pull it up. But yeah, poetry, if you like these Fiona videos, check out my series on Vigilant Christian Mario. But yeah, poetry, I don't really have an update, except it looks like according to this is what someone explained to me. And she said that this stay action means that the case is thrown out, or at least for now is thrown out. And if Fiona appeals it, then the trial could get rescheduled. So we don't know if the trial's rescheduled or if it's going to be thrown out. And why I'm so confused, why has there been no headlines? There's not been a single headline. I would have thought there would have been a celebration that this case got dissolved and that Fiona didn't win anything. So that's why I was shell-shocked yesterday when I finally uploaded that Laura Ray video, and it's not even hardly moving. I mean, it's got 1,000 views in 30 hours, which is the lowest of any Fiona Harvey video I've made. And it's not that I'm worried about the views, but it's just displaying how no one cares about this story anymore, which I knew that there was less interest, but I didn't think there was this little interest. It's like a ghost town now. And so someone has told me, well, yeah, the case is no more. And I'm just confused. Why wasn't it ever announced? I would have thought that Piers Morgan, was it Planet Popcorn, Ben from Simply Said, I would have thought they all made videos announcing, hey, the case is over. Fiona's not winning. But no, nothing, just complete silence. And I don't understand that. And that's why I'm confused right now. Yeah, if you like my Fiona Harvey content, because here's why. Let me tell you what I'm good at. I'm good at analyzing complex characters. I can help break down their motivations. And Fiona Harvey I went on, I said she had borderline personality disorder, which I believe she does, but people are saying, hey, you can't give that. You're not a doctor. You can't make that diagnosis. Okay, maybe it's not borderline personality disorder, but it's something close. One way or another, she's got some type of mental illness. That's why she's so fascinating. And then someone like myself, I'm really gifted at analyzing people. So that's why I was able to make interesting content about her. But it's not just, Fiona Harvey's not the only interesting character that I've analyzed. Vigilant Christian Mario is also mentally ill, and he's a scam artist. Dare I say he's worse than Fiona, because he was doing this intentionally. I don't think Fiona's doing this intentionally. Of course, I don't know for sure, because there's still a lot to learn about Fiona. But Mario was just a scam artist. So my point is, if you guys like the Fiona Harvey content, I think you'll like the Vigilant Christian Mario content. And my Chris Lasala content is good. Someone mentioned a few minutes ago they liked those videos I made. I only made one video on him, but it's an 8-part series. And I don't think he's mentally ill. He's just very narcissistic. He's a very narcissistic, argumentative preacher who's running a cult. And so I'm talking about that as well. Okay, that's what I said too. I did a Google search, and I thought that the person that I've been going back and forth with would be in here and would help clarify. But it's not. How do I say your name? Oli? Because it's not Ollie. Oil? I'm going to call you Oil. Oli. Okay, Oil. Yeah. Yeah, I did the same thing. And I specifically said that to them. I said, everything I've searched for on Google has said the trial is set for May 6th. But they said they think that's just outdated information, because when you go to here, it shows that there's a stay. That's why I want to get this document here, but I don't have the money for it. Let me see. Continue to Pacer. See, now it's taking me to a different page, and you can't even see the page on here. And I don't even remember my password or anything. I don't know if this is the same. Yeah, I was on Pacer Monitor. This looks like a different website. I'm really not sure. Hey there, Andrea. No, Australia, right? Australian Andrea? Yep, exactly. Yeah, he was so fake and phony. His fake crying. Like, okay, anybody can pretty much, like, I could right now, if I took like 30 seconds to close my eyes and just think of like things that were sad or whatever, I could force myself to conjure up some type of tears. And that's what he would do. And you could tell it was so phony. And some people were falling for it. And that's why I was making all these videos. And there were a lot of people who came at me and attacked me, like fans of his. And then a lot of them actually would come back to me later and apologize and say, I see it now. Yeah, he's so fake. I'm sorry I attacked you. You know, thank you for making these videos. Because Mario kept on saying, why is Gary828 keep making all these videos about me? All he's doing is trying to use me for views. Don't listen to him, guys. He's lying. He's just trying to use me. He doesn't get views unless he puts my name in the headlines. But then, lo and behold, I started getting views on other topics as well. So, and I got way more views on the Fiona and Harvey stuff than the videos about him. I was even getting more views on some of my soap review videos. Like, some people are so confused. They're like, why do you make videos about so many different topics? Like I was making Christian content, then I was making the exposed videos on Mario, and then I started making product reviews, soap reviews. And then I even made some relationship advice videos. Well, to be honest, my channel is a health channel. The Christian content stuff is for your spiritual health. The soap reviews is promoting healthy soap. And then the relationship advice was for healthy relationships. So, hot as hell in Australia. How hot is it? What's the temperature today? It's coming in Tallahassee pretty soon. Gets so humid here. So humid. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. And Mario was spending the donation money that he said was for ministry. He was buying drugs and even escorts with it. So that's where the donations was going. And I tried to tell people, I said, he's using that donation. When I was saying donation, for some reason, I thought the word Dalmatian. So that's why I said donation. I always combine my words. But I was trying to tell people, I was trying to explain to people, this guy is spending your donations on drugs. And they were saying, how can you be so judgmental? You don't know. And then he confessed to it like a month later. And of course, most of them still double down and still act like I was the bad guy. Yeah, that was young Don. He goes, what was it? It was so funny. Gary, you're a nasty and judgmental. You're nasty. Yeah, because I was pointing out his hypocrisy. Yeah, I'm the one being nasty when he was up here saying that free gracers are going to hell. But yet he's the one saying I'm nasty. Yeah, that was young Don. $37. Okay, 37 is cold. What is 37? What's 37 in Fahrenheit? You must be going in Celsius. Yeah. A couple times his tears were real because he was crazy, but a lot of times they were phony. Yeah, you could tell like he was really. There were a couple times where he was really upset about something, and then he came on alive because he was trying to get sympathy. I'll tell you, someone really pissed me off a couple years ago. I guess he was a fan of Mario or something, but he did not like me. And he said that I was using my mother's death to get views because I made one video of when she listened to my hand command in the hospital. I made another video a couple days after she had her stroke because she was in the hospital and hospice home for a month after her stroke before she passed. So I made one video a couple days after her stroke, and then I made a hand command video, which was a short, which is like 20 seconds. I actually still have that on the shorts tab. And then I made another video like 3 weeks later. And then about a week after that, she passed away, and I made a video just letting people know she passed. And this jackass has the audacity to tell me that I was using my mother's death for views. If I was anything like Mario, I would have been on every day. I was sobbing multiple times a day, every day during that month. I could have come on my channel and got so much genuine sympathy. And people probably would have donated to me. I never asked for a donation. I never cried on camera. Why? Because you handle that stuff off camera, off YouTube. I mean, if you go on a video or a live stream and you're talking about something personal and you get emotional, it's fine if it's genuine. That's the thing though with Mario, it was not genuine, it was forced. The only time he had genuine tears coming out was when he was upset about something. And so he jumped on a live stream to try to parlay that into getting donations because he was a con artist. So for that guy to compare me to Mario and try to say that I'm doing the same thing Mario was doing simply because I made a couple videos over like a 30-day period. That's just a real dick thing to tell somebody. Oh, then he said he was going to make a video and expose me. Anyways, yeah, I'm talking, kind of getting sidetracked here. But I mean, it's okay. It's good just to talk, good to fellowship. Yeah, I wish I could get these documents. Maybe I can pull it up on another site here. Yeah, he is last I saw in like 2022 he was doing construction work or something. So I don't know what he's doing now. And I only know that because one of my subscribers follows him on a social media platform, and he saw some social media posts that Mario had posted. But as far as I know, they were not scammy or anything. I mean, I guess it's possible he could be a believer who's just mentally ill and just really got addicted to drugs. Well, probably was addicted to drugs even before he became a believer. Because he said in 2010 is when he became a believer. That's what he says. So, but even if he is, he had no business trying to teach and be a Christian leader, Christian minister. Like I said, I'm not even trying to do that. I just like to make videos about the gospel. I can do that. But no, I never claimed to be any kind of minister. Yeah, I'm definitely not mature enough for that. Let's see here. Let's see if maybe I can. Okay. I'm on the StreamYard. I'm using Google Chrome right now. That's the only platform, browser that will allow me to share my screen. I typically use Safari, and that's where all my bookmarks are and everything. If you go to my home page, if you go to my home page, there's a link to a PayPal in there. Let's see. But that's where my Pacer Monitor account is. I'm looking at it right now. Man. They have a plan, a basic $0 to join. I guess that's what I would be. But it's $5 for a document. That is a lot. Because I don't know how many pages these are. Now this says $5 document, so I don't know if that means that will cover like 10 pages or if it was a 10-page document, if it'd be $5 per page and it would actually be $50. That would be pretty steep. Let me play around with this for a minute. Let me see if I can. Oh man, maybe I will just pay the $5 to see if it's that way I can figure this out. Yes, because like was it let me go back over here. Yeah, right here. Yeah, if you Google that, that's what comes up. So that's why I thought the trial was still set. But according to this document over here, according to this, it looks like it's at the very least going to be rescheduled. And that's only if Fiona wins the appeal. But I have a hard time believing that she's going to win that appeal. Hang on, okay, I'm on the wrong browser here. Sorry, hang on. Okay, now here I am. Okay, yeah, I have a hard time believing she's going to win this appeal. Because if she was going to be able to win the appeal, they probably would not have even been able to reschedule in the first place. So obviously Netflix found a way. See, I don't have enough information to go off of right now. So I'm guessing right now. And I don't like doing that. I like to be able to look at facts and then analyze them. And all I'm able to do right now at this moment is speculate. And I hate doing that. Okay. I think I might just try to buy this over here. Let me see what I can do. Okay, I'm clicking add credit. Okay. Okay, it's going to be $5.50 for one item, $10 for two items, $15 for three items. Okay, let me see here. Sorry, I'm on multiple browsers. But see, right here, I can buy it for 20 cents or 30 cents. Let me see if I can just figure this out. Be a lot cheaper. Well, it looks like to buy this, I have to pay the same thing. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, the items I want to get, I want to get this one. I believe this is only one page. See, the Pacer Monitor site is more detailed. I like it better. This one's free though, except you have to buy some things on the Pacer site. Main doc, okay, stay in case and terminate. See, that's what I want right there. I'm just gonna do the one document. Let me see. I'll buy it for $5.50. But I'm not gonna be able to pull that up. Okay. Okay, we'll see. Okay. I'm going to read it to you. I'm not going to be able to display it because this is on my Safari browser. Because I don't even know the password. I'd have to sign into it on my Google Chrome browser. I don't even know my password. Okay. Now I've got to try to pull this up. Hang on, guys. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. We've got declaration of Marvin S. Putnam, and we've got proposed order. Then we've got one page order granting. Okay, just let me get this. This says stay in case utility, well, where's that supposed to be util? It's UTIL. I don't know if that's utility, short for utility, I would guess. Terminate deadlines and hearings. There's a stay case. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and just do the one page. All right, it's supposed to be downloading. Hang on. All right, here we go. View document. Okay, I've got it. Okay. Now I wish I could get it on here. Okay. One, proceedings in this court have been stayed as of October 3rd and are stayed until the exhaustion of defendant's appeal of the court's denial of defendant's special motion to strike. All pretrial deadlines and dates in the trial date are vacated. In the event the United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit, I need to pull this up. Let me pull this up so you guys can see it. If not, I'll have to take a photo on my phone and just put it on, but that's very sloppy. So let me see if I can sign on to my Pacer Monitor account. I need to, okay. I need to stop my sharing, and then I need to reopen my sharing and get on pacer monitor. Hang on. No. All right, sign in. Okay. Bear with me. I've got multiple browsers up, so it's confusing. When I used this before, I used to be able to use multiple tabs and I could just navigate between. But for some reason, this only allows me to display one at a time. This one here. Maybe if I just pull it up. You know what? Do this. There we go. I'll go pacer monitor. Okay, sign in. Okay, I'm going to be able to show it to you in just a minute. I need to find my password though. Give me a second. I should have this written down. All right, I'm not seeing it. Well, I usually keep a really good record of my passwords, but evidently I did not write this down. All right. I'm going to have to I'm probably going to have to reset it. All right. Hey, Jen, how's it going? Okay, here we go. Reset password. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and stop the screen share. All right. Give me just a second here. I'm going to put a curtain up so I can get some privacy. I don't want any of you looking at my passwords. All right. We're getting it slowly but surely. Password. Okay. I heart Marco. That's going to be our password. All right. Update password. Okay. All right. I think I got it. All right. Let's. Am I still sharing a screen? No. Okay, hang on. I think we're close. How many Garys does it take to sign onto an account? I don't know. Figure out. All right. I am in, but now I'm looking for the documents. Let's see, recent views. Wow, this is okay. I think I got it. All right, let's see here. Let's see if this works right. All right, there we go. Got it for you guys. That is the document for us to look at, for us to tell. We see at the top, filed 10/11/24. United States District Court, California, Fiona Harvey versus Netflix. Okay, see, it says proposed, but it is scratched out. That does look kind of unprofessional, though, for something that should be much more professional. Order granting joint stipulation to stay action pending defendants' appeal of order denying defendants special motion to strike. The court having considered the parties' joint stipulation to stay action pending defendants' appeal of order denying defendants' special motion to strike and finding good cause, therefore, hereby grants the joint stipulation as follows. 1. Proceedings in this court have been stayed as of October 3rd, 2024, and are stayed until the exhaustion of defendants' appeal of the court's denial of defendants' special motion to strike. 2. All pretrial deadlines and dates and the trial date are vacated. 3. In the event the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit affirms the denial of defendants' special motion to strike or otherwise remands the case back to this court, the court shall lift the stay and enter a scheduling order with new pretrial deadlines and dates and a new trial date. It is so ordered, dated 10/11/2024. So that was 2 weeks before that Richard Gadd video that I put out October 29th that got like 100,000 views. So people were still very interested in that story at that time. Okay, let me go back and look at some of the comments here. What is she appealing? Well, Fiona would appeal this stay, I guess, which means that there would be a trial at a different date. Okay, let me see. Okay, Judge Klausner tossed a suit in mid-October, I thought. He has a reputation for killing frivolous lawsuits. Frivolous lawsuits. Okay, let me see. She'd have to appeal to a higher court in California with libel, slander, civil cases. This rarely happens as Harvey was unable to prove financial impact. Yeah, I just don't understand why this is going quiet. Why has this not been announced? If this case is over, I would have thought there'd been a celebration. Like I said earlier, I thought everybody would have made videos celebrating. Like especially Simply Said in Planet Popcorn. I just assumed that the trial was still set in May. Yeah. Now, where are you getting that information from, Aussie? If you're on the dole, what's the dole? Yep. Jen, you remember what I said at the very beginning. I said there's no way in hell she's going to win anything from Netflix. But then Piers Morgan and others kept saying she's got a legitimate lawsuit. They're saying that her crazy behavior is a total separate issue that has nothing to do with the law. And then, we were all saying, well, it should. It should be accounted for. Her stalking patterns, her history of stalking so many people in the past, she shouldn't be rewarded for this. And now it appears as if she's not, which is good. I'm just confused because why did it go radio silent? Because we were all like looking forward to the progress and development of this case. And Now it's getting a stay, which essentially is just ending it, and no one has said anything about it. I don't even think Simply Said anything about this. And he was jumping on any headline. He was trying to make a video out of anything he could, and he didn't say anything about this. No one did. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Right. So people still believe it's going right, just like myself. But I would have thought somebody would have known. But nobody knew. Pierce Morgan didn't know. Maybe Pierce Morgan intentionally kept it quiet because he was the one that was building her case up. So he didn't want to look foolish. Yeah. Well, she wouldn't have held a job for long. She couldn't hold jobs for long because of the way she was. How do you say that? Vexatious? I saw that word today, earlier. I think it's the first time I've ever seen that word. How's it pronounced? Vexatious? Is that correct? Which court? That's the question. Does a different court, would one court, I guess it would have a different effect? As does that mean that if it's in one court there could be a trial, and in another court there would be no trial? Nope, haven't heard anything. That's why I, like everyone else, assumed the trial, and I thought the hype was going to kick back into gear. Oh, okay. Yep. Simply Said did? Okay, go look. Okay. Um, let me see. All right, hang on. I wish I could just open up another tab. Yeah, I'm going to have to do it on here. Okay, let me go there. Do you know the date? I mean, I know you don't know the exact date, but do you know the time period? Was this like, do you remember the month? Was it October, November, or was it like earlier this year? Because I'm going to go scroll his page. Vexatious means malicious. Okay. See, that's the thing though. That's the gray area. If she's never right here, if she's never went to prison, that's luck because she committed a lot of crimes. Yeah, they're saying that no one looks at the end credits anyways, and that it was like small. I mean, I thought it's assumed that there's going to be parts that are dramatized because you have to keep the story on track because real life drags. And when you're doing a movie or a TV show or whatever, you don't have time to drag. You have to stay on track. You have to keep that story going forward or you're going to lose your viewers. Realistically, in real life, things drag out. She was put in a nut house as a diversion program. Are you guessing or do you know that? Right, exactly. Is that factual? Or are you guessing? Which I've already thought that. Okay, yeah, you're talking about Heather Burns. I made a video about that. But is that what you're talking about? When you said that she was put in a nut house? Okay, does anybody need to? I'm going to go to YouTube for a minute, so I'm going to have to take this off. Did anybody want to look at this before I go to another page? Okay, I'm going to go to Simply Said on YouTube. Okay. Okay. Who was it? Yeah, I think it was you. Unbelievable. Do you know around approximately what month that he made this? The one you're talking about? Okay, that's 9 months ago. Okay, let me see. Is this it?
It's been a little while since I've covered the whole Fiona Harvey fiasco. And there's been a few little updates, a few tweaks here and there, which means that not only is the lawsuit going forward, but it does look like, from the looks of things, that things are starting to get a bit finicky. And I'll get into all of that in just a moment. First of all, hello to the chat. Shout out to you all. How is everyone doing? I hope that everyone is okay and is doing well. I'm glad to see you all here. Thank you for joining me. But first of all, obviously, if you've not been in the loop, last week, the real life Martha, otherwise obviously known as Fiona Harvey at this point, baby reindeer lawsuit to go forward as judge rules series not a quote.
Okay, so this is the exact opposite of what you said. You said that Ben pointed out that the case was getting dismissed or to stay or whatever. But right here, he's talking about the trial was going to proceed. And this was 4 months ago. Let me get the date. October 7th. Okay, so let me look after October 7th. Okay, so I at least have a date to try to go by. I don't know if I need to go to live or okay. Let me try live. He hasn't done a live in like 3 months. Okay, here's one. What's the date?
Did the insurance company ever call you after the accident and try to persuade you not to call a lawyer?
Absolutely.
You are using apple cider vinegar the wrong way. If your goal is to lose belly fat, you need to use it the right way.
Fiona Harvey has well and truly shot herself in the foot after.
Okay, is this the one? Yeah, this one is October 21st. So, and this is a live. I haven't looked on his video page. Yeah, it's after 11th. It's the 21st. This one here. But this may be, is this the video you're referring to? Because it does sound like
going on some Facebook rants. And this has been exposed by Gary828. There have been many other things as well that we're going to cover in this live stream that basically goes over why this, why Fiona Harvey has basically shot herself in the foot. I mean, it's not exactly surprising at this point, is it, that Fiona Harvey's kind of outed herself a little bit? But for anyone, I could see the comments kind of scrolling literally just here, right? Just before I started, and I was making some shorts and stuff, but it's floppy hair me today. No baseball cap today. So there you go. There's something about Mary style, Ben. Floppy hair, I win. I could see it. Have a big boggly eyes like her. What a mess. There you go. Gets us started, everyone. Doesn't it? Another one. I've not seen or spoken to Richard in years. I'm not Martha. I've done none of the things Martha did in the play, and I'm not the ugly, big, boggly eyes like the actress who plays her. The rumors about her are that she is as mentally ill as Gad. She's definitely ugly. Bear in mind, let's not forget, this is the woman that had never seen the show. She's never seen the show, people. Don't forget that. I'm assuming that is following people stalking them everywhere. 10 miles a day, yeah. I didn't read that. All the files were officially, cemented in. I'm just going to double check my emails, actually, because I did have a couple regarding this situation. Bear with me, everyone. What's this? Here we go. So, here we go. So I've got Teacher Damien Suss. Hello, how are ya? Right, Teacher Damien Suss, can you, because you've been sending me a load of stuff regarding the Fiona Harvey stuff, can you pop your email in the chat? I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat. And then if anyone wants to go and contact Teacher Damien, which I want to go over. So yeah, we'll cover that in another video though. But let's have a look at this. So this comes from Gary828. I'm sure by now you are all aware of Gary828. He is Fiona's Facebook guy. If Fiona said something on Facebook, you'll find it on this page.
Hosting binge like a recovered alcoholic.
Okay, this was October 21st, and this doesn't seem to be anything. This is just regurgitating the stuff I already put out. Let me look on his video page, though. I thought you were yanking me around. No, I don't think that. I just need confirmation that the stuff is accurate. I don't just take people's word It doesn't mean I think that they're yanking me around. But if you just believed everything somebody told you, if you took it fact, because sometimes people will tell you something because they had but it's not accurate because they've misinterpreted. How do you think people, so many people spread so much information about the Bible and about God because they misinterpret scripture? They take it out of context. So they think what they're saying is accurate, but they don't understand the context. And I've had that happen to me multiple times where people have told me information about the case, and what they were giving me was misinterpreted on their part information. So no, I just double check everything. And I do that with myself too, like, because I can misinterpret information. So I like to try to get confirmation before I announce stuff or whatever. Even on that last video I did yesterday about Laura Ray, I said a couple times that this is my theory. This isn't fact. This is what I believe, because I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong on something, I don't have a problem going back and, correcting myself. All right, let's see what this date is.
Grilled or fried? Now that's a Zaxby's filling. Who's got the sauce? Zaxby's.
It has been a hot minute.
This is November. This is November 21st. What is happening with Fiona Harvey versus Netflix?
Since I have made a video about the whole baby reindeer situation, and a lot of people are asking me, and I'm also wondering what's going on regarding this. It's all literally, there was information left, right, and bloody center, and then all of a sudden, nothing. It
Right.
just went silent.
Yep.
No more information came out. Nothing was released. Nothing was revealed. Nothing was announced. And people are wondering what's next. Where is the trial sat? Is it even going ahead? I'm going to go through everything today. I'm going to give you a brief timeline of what actually went on, how things started, how things progressed. And then we're going to talk about what is to come, because there's still a lot that needs to go on. So, obviously, I'm sure you're all very, very well aware. On April 11th of 2024, the hit Netflix show Baby Reindeer was released on Netflix, okay? It was an...
Okay, we don't need to hear the beginning. We need to hear the end. We'll be here all night. We're here not the whole thing. Let's see. Oh, this video is only 12 minutes. Okay, I was thinking this was an hour-long live stream. Okay.
Harvey had submitted a $170 million lawsuit in California against Netflix. Not Richard Gadd, but Netflix. So, the idea of the lawsuit was that she was seeking relief exceeding 50 million in actual damages, 50 million in compensatory damages. All profits from the series are the sum of at least 50 million, and 20 million for punitive damages and attorney fees. Obviously, that was an eye-watering sum of money, but they seem to think that it represented a fair judgment of, what they should they should earn off the back of these damages. Fiona stated that she couldn't go out into the public without being harassed. She was fearful of leaving her home, but, and this is a really big but, people after this lawsuit dropped came out in their loads of people came out to state that they had actually been a victim of the real life Martha, otherwise known as Fiona Harvey. Laura Ray, who was a lawyer, who worked with Fiona Harvey back in the 1990s, right, for 2 days, or I think it was 2 weeks actually she lasted in this new job, had to fire her for really bad behavior, and then she went on to allegedly be stalked by Fiona Harvey. There were countless other people who came out, and big personalities, politicians, for example, like George Galloway and Sir Keir Starmer ended up becoming alleged victims of Fiona Harvey. And there were lots and lots of people that basically backed up the same behavior that was portrayed within Baby Reindeer. And it didn't look great for Fiona Harvey. But Netflix vowed to vigorously defend themselves against this lawsuit. They said, we are not going to take this lying down. If you're going to do this, we're going to defend it vigorously, apparently. And they put in a special motion to strike. Okay, and the motion to strike, of course, was uploaded on the 1st of August, in which they, on the 29th of July, they put in a special motion to dismiss the case because they felt that there was not enough evidence to support the fact that this could go to court and to support the fact that this should even go to trial. But on the 1st of August, the application for the special motion to dismiss was actually rejected by the judge. I've got it here, Gary Klausner. Now, Gary Klausner rejected the motion to strike and stated that the court case would still be going forwards for the excessive sum of money.
And see, that's the last I heard of it, was that Netflix tried to appeal, but the judge was going to allow the case to proceed. That's what I heard. And no, yeah, I wasn't saying that you were lying. I'm saying that sometimes people will believe something, but they've misinterpreted something. So what I do is I just double check to make sure it's accurate. And I do that with myself. When I first read something, if I'm not sure about it, I'll read it over from different sources to confirm. So that's all I was saying. I didn't think you were intentionally doing there. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah, all the court dates are, does that mean that it's over with or it's just postponed? Not over till the fat lady sings. Yeah, it does appear like it struck off, but yeah, we need to, it hasn't officially been struck off, but it looks like it looks like it will be. Or it looks like it's kind of in a, right now it's over, but if she wins her appeal, then it can come back. From what I understand, that's what it seems. But I'm still looking into this, and let's see if Ben has anything more. This video is only a couple more minutes.
Of 170 million US dollars. So it was out of Netflix's hands by that point, and they just had to accept that this was going to be going to trial. And the reason for this was the judge stated that Netflix shouldn't have called Baby Reindeer a true story. And he says the opening way for defamatory lawsuit. Now, obviously, that was what this was all based on, was defamation. And because of that one line at the beginning of the show stating this is a true story, if they had not put that in, then Fiona Harvey would not have had a case on her hands. But because Netflix did, that's exactly what happened. So now they've got a lawsuit on their hands because they stated that, and there's nothing that Netflix can do about it. So that puts us to where we are today. Of course, that's a very broad brush way of putting the timeline, but it kind of gives you an idea of exactly what happened and in what timelines. But that leads us to today. Obviously, a lot of information has come out through the court cases. There's a lot of information online, and basically Richard Gadd has dumped a load of information proving that Fiona was an intense stalker, and Fiona has submitted a lot of information to basically defend herself and state, I am not this intense stalker that she claims to they claim me to be. And obviously the other big issue was that she attacked people apparently, and there were big issues with Fiona assaulting Richard Gadd in real life, which apparently, according to Fiona, never actually happened. And according to Netflix, they quote unquote took liberties with the story to make it a more dramatic work. What that actually means, it's a grey area. But Fiona Harvey's legal case is still ongoing today, and it is still going to be going forwards. Although we've not had any information for about 2 or 3 months now, I believe the last batch of information came out around the 1st of October. The case will still be going ahead, and the trial has got a set date of the 6th of May, 2025. Almost 1 year on from the show actually dropping on the April 11th, 2024. So that's what we know. We aren't certain that this case will still be going forwards. We know that this will be happening. And it will be happening with, in California to begin with. And it's believed that the case will then move over to the UK because they're going to sue twice over. So long as, obviously, I'm assuming they win in California. But 6th of May 2025 is the set date for the trial hearing for this defamation case. And like I say, the information right now is very scarce because like when this first came out, it was an information dump. We got loads of stuff. But now, less so. But what do you think about this? Do you think now that the dust has really settled on this case that Fiona Harvey has got a chance of winning? Do you still stand by Netflix? Or do you not care, but you're just there for the tea? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Are you down there?
Okay. So Ben says here on, get the date again, November 21st, that the case is proceeding. Let me go and see if he has any other videos since then. This is the one we just watched, I think. I think this is the one we watched. Okay. Now we've got one about Richard Gadd. Let's see if there's any others. Okay, so yeah, he hasn't touched the Fiona Harvey story since then, since November 21st, and he said the case is proceeding. Let me go back and look at the Richard Gadd one. Wait. Here we go. Oh, yeah, this is about him winning. I think this is just about him, Richard Gadd, winning awards. I don't think this has anything to do with the actual case. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and check this one out.
So my car insurance just went up again to $159 now.
Look, check this out. Don't worry. I got a solution. There's a site that nobody knows about. You just put some basic info in like this. Look.
I'll let that ad play for Ben for a minute and we'll talk. So we could clear stuff up by using Court Listener. I was just on there. I just downloaded the latest document, or I was on Pacer Monitor because I can't. I can't download from the Court Listener site or whatever. So I bought the document from Pacer Monitor just now. And I can't pull it up because I've got this. I can go back to it though after I'm done with Ben's channel. No, it says on there you have to go to Pacer. Well, there are some other documents that are free, but the recent ones say you have to download from Pacer, and it costs some money. So I just went to Pacer. I only bought that one document. Why do you keep slapping your forehead? What is it that you're frustrated about? Yeah, there are a lot of documents for free on there, but not the latest ones. Go to the latest ones. The last 5 you have to pay for, and those are the ones I wanted to see. So I just went to Pacer Monitor and bought the last one. I just did it a few minutes before you came in here. I was looking over it. You can rewind back. Just rewind back like 20 minutes and you'll see. No, not that I've seen. I haven't seen any. But I just don't understand why no one has come out and said, hey, the case is no more. The case is, been thrown out. I don't understand why it went radio silent. I would have thought that there would be celebration videos made with that information. Yeah, I know you can get free stuff, but there are some documents on there that you have to go through Pacer Monitor. It says on there, it's got a tab to click on Pacer Monitor. There's not an option. Not every document is free. And that's fine. A lot of the documents are. I told you, if you rewind, go back like 20, 30 minutes and you'll see. Yeah, I understand, but when there's a lawsuit that is hyped up, you figure there's going to be some type of buzz about it coming to an end or getting thrown out. And there's been nothing but radio silence. Okay, so I still have not seen the video from Ben where he said that the lawsuit has ended and the trials. Is the trial? It says it's vacated. Does that mean it's terminated, or does that mean it's postponed? I guess it means it's in limbo for the time being. And I guess it's up to Fiona to resurrect it. Is that correct? So basically, the lawsuit is in limbo right now. It's in purgatory. And it's up to Fiona and her attorney, if she still has one, like you said, to resurrect the case. But I don't know what I'm supposed to call you. F. Talk about Richard Roth. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. We need to find that out. Yeah, because there was a trial date set for May 6th, and according to this document, it appears as if it's vacated. This is what I wanted to ask you and F. You said that she's not going to win the appeal, though, right? So you said it's as good as terminated, because you said a higher circuit court won't touch this. No, I'm not betting you that. I think you're right, but I need confirmation, because I've believed people in the past and been wrong. I've read through, like when I was making a lot of these videos last summer, I read through these documents, and I misinterpreted a lot of them when I read them. Like I thought it stated one thing, and then the next day I see a video someone made where they're actually going over the same document I read, and they are correctly breaking it down. So I've misinterpreted some of this stuff myself. That's why I keep digging deeper, because I want to walk away with the right answer. Yeah, it has been a while, but I thought they were waiting to do it before May. So they still have another couple months. Well, yeah, he shouldn't have had to wait for discovery to know that. I still have some documents I haven't went over. I think I have Laura Ray's declaration. And I think I have Fiona Harvey's declaration. I think I have Richard Gadd's declaration, if I'm not mistaken. It's been so long since I went over all that stuff, but I had downloaded a lot of documents last summer. And then stuff just kept happening, and I wasn't able to study them and make videos the way that I planned. So I got thrown off. So I'm getting re-familiar with this case. Deformation cases are known to take years. That's what we should call this, because Fiona's brain is deformed. So yep, I agree. See, this is what I said from the beginning. I was shocked that this case grew the legs that it had, thanks to Piers Morgan and Richard Roth. I'm like, how do you even consider this? I saw one. How many letters does she have? I saw one. I saw a letter she wrote to someone named Bruce, I think. Is that the Law Society? Yeah, I saw something about that. But I still have a hard time believing Fiona needed to call the police to get her books back. That doesn't make sense. Yep. Okay, let me play another minute of Ben's video here. Give me a minute. I actually need to run to the restroom. I will be right back.
Reindeer has spoken out, right, recently, and has stated that he is now backing Fiona Harvey to beat Netflix in their lawsuit. Bear in mind, this man has had actual like face-to-face interaction with Fiona Harvey, and he's still backing it. All right, you probably remember the interview because back when, you know, about 7 months ago, Baby Reindeer first comes out, everyone was hunting down the real life Fiona. Well, over on Piers's YouTube channel, he obviously uploaded a video, which is his second most popular video ever, with 15 million views. It blew up seemingly overnight. Gads is psychotic. Baby Reindeer's real life Martha. Fiona Harvey, right? And that's exactly what's dropped, okay? And then, you know, you get Meet Fiona, Fact or Fiction, all the rest of it, and it goes through like that. Now, obviously, you know, there was a lot of friction between Fiona Harvey and Piers Morgan when this first came about because, you know, Piers Morgan did the interview, paid Fiona Harvey, I believe it was £250 for the interview, right? 250 quid. And she was happy with it. She went away. Then it blew up, right? It absolutely went everywhere. It was friggin' viral, this video. Everyone was watching it. Everyone was talking about it. And then Fiona Harvey basically demanded $1 million.
Enter a brave new world with the GMC Hummer EV. Powerful performance and revolutionary technology keep you ready for any mission. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World only in theaters.
Did you know that Amazon has a $50 million fund that they have to pay out every month? And here's how you can get a cut of it. My name is Charlotte Mickelson, and we help everyday people grow their income with this one simple method. And we're pretty darn good at it. Our company, Publishing.com, was named the 19th fastest growing company in America. And the only reason we're so successful is because of the success that we've created for others. And I'll tell you why our method works so much better than anything else you might have tried. It's because starting a business is not the best way for regular people to make more money. And that's what everyone gets wrong. Starting and running a business is hard. It's expensive, it takes a long time, and it requires skills and experience that most people don't have. Instead, we help you plug into Amazon and the $500 billion a year business they've already built. Now, the way we do it is completely different from anything you've seen before. We don't show you how to buy and sell physical products on Amazon like everybody else. The way we plug into Amazon is through this app on our phone called Audible, which most people don't know is one of Amazon's apps. And using this app, I showed my mom how to get paid checks like this from Amazon every month. Look, this didn't make her rich. So if that's what you're looking for, this isn't for you. But if you want an extra income stream on top of what you're currently making that pays you every month like clockwork, that we can help you with. So if you want to see how we do it, my husband, Christian, who discovered this method, just finished making the best video training he's ever made, walking you through step by step exactly how to set up this Audible app strategy for yourself. And the best part is it's 100% free. There is absolutely no risk in clicking on this video and seeing for yourself how this is working for so many people. So just hit the button on your screen, put in your email, and you'll have instant access to this free training, which reveals everything. Steven here says, I'm so glad I didn't skip that YouTube ad because my last
pounds off of Piers Morgan because his interview did so well, and you know he can afford it because it's Piers Morgan. And she was like, yeah, you now owe me £1 million. To which obviously Piers Morgan, you know, strictly denied and was like, absolutely not, you're not getting a penny out of me, kind of thing, or any more than you've currently got. But that doesn't seem to be where it ended, as there has been a recent article that has dropped that says Piers Morgan backs Baby Reindeer's real-life Martha in multi-million-dollar Netflix lawsuit. So Piers Morgan says that Netflix failed to adequately hide Fiona Harvey's identity when depicting the stalker character Martha in Scott's comic Richard Gad's series, right? So Piers Morgan is backing Scott Fiona Harvey in a multi-million-pound lawsuit against Netflix, as she claims that she is the real-life Martha from his hit show Baby Reindeer. Obviously, we know this. Harvey, 59, is suing the streaming giant and says that her life was ruined by the series, which is claimed to be a, quote, true story. The Scott allowed herself to be identified by the Daily Record earlier this year as the inspiration for the stalker character Martha. But unlike Martha, she has never been convicted or jailed. That's exactly what this is all over, right? Now Piers Morgan, who interviewed Harvey on his YouTube talk show, is backing her fight with Netflix and believes that she has actually been defamed, which is very interesting because obviously it's one thing to state that she's been identified, but it's another thing to state that she's been defamed, because with that, you know, with defamation, you have to prove, you know, losses. You have to prove that you've been like personally damaged in some capacity. So I'd love to see that. He also says that Netflix failed to adequately hide her identity when depicting stalker Martha in Scott's comic Richard Gad's series. He said, in the show, which Netflix calls a true story, at the start of each episode, she is depicted as the vile stalker who was twice sent to prison for harassing people, including Richard Gad, who wrote and starred in the series he says is based on his own experiences. It has taken just minutes for the internet sleuths to identify Fiona Harvey from all the poorly disguised clues, not least the word-for-word recreation of her online posts. And her life had become instant hell, with morons bombarding her with abusive and threatening calls. Now, we know that this actually is the case because we've seen the court documents. I've documented it on this channel, so if you want like more context on that, go and check that out. But it does provide you with a little bit of context as to like this whole situation. And, you know, there is proof that from Fiona Harvey that she has received like Facebook messages in particular that are less than pleasant, which of course no one should be receiving. He also added, though, after weeks of increasingly febrile speculation, she wanted to have her say. I felt it was only fair to be given the opportunity to tell her own story and respond to the claims being made about her so publicly. But I can guarantee that the other side of this, and the other reason why Piers Morgan was probably quite happy to have her on, was because of that sweet YouTube ad revenue, baby. You know for a fact that he raked in millions, maybe not millions, but hundreds of thousands at least off the back of this show. 15 million views is nothing to be scoffed at. He goes on to state, in fact, she insisted that she'd never been charged with any offence, nor appeared in court, let alone tearfully pled guilty to crimes of stalking people and slung in prison, as Baby Reindeer stated as fact. I found some stuff that she told me implausible, like her categoric denial of sending Gad thousands of emails and texts.
By the way, I don't think he made millions. He probably made somewhere around 100 grand, 100 to 150.
However, if he has the evidence, that can easily be proven either way. Well, we've seen a lot of it already through the court documents. But from our own pre-interview investigations, we found zero evidence that she's a convicted stalker, and none since emerged, right? So obviously, you know, there was the whole thing with her, with the Roth law firm releasing her DBS and stuff. But, you know, there's a lot of hot water around that as well. And that means that Netflix broadcast a seriously defamatory lie about her that compounded this by not protecting her real identity from being immediately uncovered. That's why she's suing them for $170 million for defamation and emotional distress in the California court. That is still an eye-watering amount of money. Morgan described his exclusive interview on Piers Morgan Uncensored as the most explosive of his career, recalling how they bagged it. And he said, "We've got her!" exclaimed one of my ace bookers, Kieran. He'd somehow found a phone number for the most wanted woman in Britain and talked her into doing an interview. Not that she apparently needed much persuading. Anything for Piers, she said. I trust him to tell my story. She obviously, well, it's weird because afterwards, after the interview, she was slamming him, stating that he was one of the worst journalists she'd ever seen. So it's weird that she'll do anything for Piers, but anyway. And what a story it was. The woman was Fiona Harvey, who was confirmed to, she is the real life Martha from the year's biggest TV smash. Morgan added, once the interview aired, all hell broke loose. I've done a lot of big interviews in my career, from Donald Trump to Beyonce and Kanye and Cristiano Ronaldo, but none exploded quite like this. The interview was watched more than 15 million times on our YouTube channel, with clips that went viral. One of the TikTok of me asking Harvey if she was in love with Gad, and it was watched nearly 40 million times. People begged me to tell them what Harvey was really like. The answer is that she's very similar to Martha, an intelligent but coarse, aggressive, and slightly odd woman who may have behaved like an unpleasant troll, but who does not seem to be a convicted criminal. And that fact may end up costing net.
How do you seem to be like a convicted criminal? There's not a distinctive personality that criminals have.
Millions. As to all those who joke, I hope that you didn't give her your number. I jest in return that no, I didn't. I gave her Jeremy Clarkson's. Great stuff. The trial's due to take place in California in front of a judge, Gary Klausner, in May of 2025. I mean, it's a big oof, isn't it? Like, and I'm so excited to see how this is going to go. We're only 5 months away from seeing how this goes. Obviously, I think the court case was pushed back, but it's interesting to hear it from someone who actually spoke to Fiona Harvey, like, directly. Does this mean that she's off the hook and she's guaranteed to win? Absolutely not. But at the same time, there's still a lot that can go on with this. Let me know what you guys think about this, though, down in the comments below. Do you think she has a chance of winning? Are you surprised as me that Piers Morgan was backing her? Because, you know, she was going for him hell for leather at one point after the interview aired, and it seemed like they really didn't like each other. But that's the world that we live in. Let me know what you think down in the comments below.
All right. So that was January 1st. Let me see if he has any new ones, because that appears to me like the last thing he said, because you said that he had a video stating that the trial was off or whatever. Right. Oh my goodness. If that was televised, well, boy, that would have been insane. So UNF, Ben has not said that the trial's over. That's the last thing the last time he talked about it, January 1st. And he's said it's proceeding in May. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. It definitely appears like what you're saying is correct. I'm just saying I haven't found anybody on the internet or I mean on YouTube. I haven't seen any video from anybody who is saying that it's over. And I don't know why. Like, I mean, I could make a video and put that out there, but I want to make sure I'm right, though. And that I'm not misinterpreting. Because, you know, reading that document, you appear 100% correct. But I've looked at other documents before and misinterpreted them. Okay, what do you mean it's not over? It's delayed? Okay. So I should call the law firm? Just call and say, hi, I'm inquiring if Mr. Richard Roth, right? Is that what you meant? I would think we would have heard something. They probably can't even give information like that out over the phone. I wouldn't think so. Oh, yeah, I have the number. Yeah, all that. I've got that. Getting the number is not the problem. The problem is I don't think they're going to tell me anything. If it was during business hours, I'd. Oh, they're in California, aren't they? What's the number? They're in California. So they're still business hours. So they're open right now. They should be. You know what though? No, I don't want to call because if he is still repping her, they'll have my phone number. One of y'all can call because I don't want someone associated with Fiona having my phone number. I don't want my phone getting blown up. And see, I also thought the case was proceeding because she's been quiet, which I thought the only reason she's been quiet is because her attorneys finally got through to her. Because if she had lost a case, I figured that she'd be complaining about it all over social media. Oh, I know. Well, she got quiet later. She wasn't at first, but then she did get quiet. And then again, she blurted some stuff out, but that was short-lived. Then she went back into hibernation. And you figure that her attorney probably found that out. And then he put a stop to it. He probably said, listen, we're going to throw this case out if you go back on Facebook. So that's what stopped her. That's what I would think. I don't think she was banned from Facebook. She could always do another account. Okay, so UNF, you're saying, okay, Rhea says that the case is delayed, but you're saying the case is over because another court does not want to touch it, correct? Yeah, but I don't think they've done that because she did put out one Facebook post. I think it was like October. There are no documents that say what? What information is that? Which information? That another court won't touch it? So if you know a prosecutor who worked with Judge Klausner, then you should be able to easily find out if Richard Roth is still repping Fiona or not. You could get that information a lot easier than me. Okay. Okay, and what you're saying is that the case is over. She's not going to win an appeal. She's not even going to file an appeal, or has she filed an appeal? But either way, it's irrelevant because you're saying she won't win the appeal either way, right? So, Rhea, do you think that this is going to actually go to trial at some point, or do you think it's pretty much over, like UNF says? Okay, so there is still a chance then. Yeah, I thought that everyone got so quiet about it because everyone was just waiting for the trial in May. That's what I was doing, because I had ideas to make new videos to cover the trial in May. Who in here who in here watched the video that I put out yesterday about Laura Ray? Yeah. I hear you, but the thing is, I didn't even think this would go nearly as far as it did. That's what I thought. It just depends what their what they're suing for. If she never had any type of legal convictions at all, then on that premise, she could win something. And that's what I was afraid of. I just thought that based on her criminal behavior, that they would have thrown that into consideration and that she wouldn't have won. Okay, so if this trial does, okay, it appears like it's not going to be in May. So if the trial does proceed, about how long would it take? Are we talking about late summer, end of the year, next year? When would the trial be? So at this point, it seems kind of pointless for me to follow up and make any more videos. Yeah, the video I made yesterday. Yeah, the interest has died. Yeah, this one I put out today 3 hours ago, 55 views. I mean, that's the numbers I was getting on my soap review. So yeah, that's definitely not getting anything. And this,
what takes 7 minutes to cook, has up to 22 grams of protein, only 6 grams of net carbs, and is 100% plant-based. Hey, I'm Kevin from IMI, and
she tried to follow a meal made.
This 1,000 views. Let me see, 1,063 views. That's terrible for me. So I mean, yeah, it seems kind of pointless for me to make any more videos about this because no one's, not many people are looking. Which one? The one I did yesterday? So I wanted to ask if what people thought about that video, if they think that I'm on point or if I'm off base. The side by side between Laura and Ray. You're talking about between Laura and Fiona? Is this the video you're talking about? This is the video I put out yesterday. Have you seen it yet? I'm wondering what you think about what I said on here, if you did. Yeah, I didn't. Okay, so you think I was on point? What she said to Richard Gadd about how she was the one that called police on Jimmy and Laura Ray. Do you believe that she was telling the truth when she said it was regarding getting her books back? Or do you think that was an admission of guilt that she was referring to when she called social services? You're slacking, Jen. You need to go and watch it. Yeah, I want to get people's opinion. Like, if a lot of people think that I'm wrong, I'll probably take the video down, or at least take it down and re-edit it and then re-upload it, because I want to make sure. Okay, see, I'm not sure what you're referring to when you say no. That's not how people operate. So I'm saying you think that my theory was right. Okay, that's what I thought as well. But Rhea said that in the declaration that there was a time where Fiona was collecting some books from Laura's office. But even if that's the case, I still don't think that's what Fiona was referring to. I just find that hard to believe. Like, why would she need to say, oh, yeah, you know, I called police on Jimmy and Laura Ray so I get my books back? And the other thing I thought of, why did you have to include calling Jimmy Ray to get your books back from Laura Ray's office? Why did you bring Jimmy into it? What does he have to do with you getting your books back from Laura Ray's office? Okay, letter to the Law Society. Well, you know, whatever. Just whatever document. Right. Yes, she does. Well, Jen, you need to go back and watch my video. Then you could drop me a comment and let me know. I could play it now, couldn't I? You guys want me to play this? Well, if you've already seen it, it's going to be pretty boring to watch a second time, but Jen hasn't seen it. Let me see. This is the main part in question.
All right, so listen up. State Farm was trying to charge me $197 for car insurance. No, thank you. I got a friend who told me about
the two different, you get my point, two different people.
Yeah, but Richard Gadd has Googled that. Richard Gadd has used that.
Well, I think I'm going to let this play for a few minutes for Jen to watch. Does anyone have any questions real quick before I start to play that? Okay, Jen, I'll play it. Let me make sure UNF doesn't have any other questions or statements. Right. Yep, I agree. So UNF, you agree with me, what I said on the video then? You don't think I was off base? Okay. Yeah, Jen, I'm going to play part of it because it's like 37 minutes. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'll play part of it and you can go back and watch the whole thing. Okay, I'll put it on UNF.
That's in the drama, is when they find out that you had previously harassed this family.
I haven't harassed that family.
Well, I guess that depends on your definition of harassment, Because as I said at the start of this video, I discovered a bit of a smoking gun between Fiona's Facebook posts and her emails to Richard Gadd that may in fact prove that she...
UNF, that's what I wanted to ask. Do you think, because I don't think anyone else has brought up that email. Do you think that could possibly land her in hot water legally? Could Laura Ray use that? Because that email is public. Because Richard Gadd submitted it to the police and to the court. So could Laura Ray use that against Fiona? Because I know Laura Ray was talking about if Fiona won this case, she was going to sue Fiona. And that's a big reason I made this video, because I was trying to get some evidence for Laura to use.
He did, in fact, harass Laura Ray and her family. So let's check it out and you draw your own conclusion. Okay, so this was a Facebook post she wrote April 29th, 2024. Like I previously said, I made a 4-hour video going over all of her Facebook posts. If you haven't seen that video, you should definitely check it out to hear the kinds of thoughts constantly running through her mind. So on this post, she says, the internet keeps crashing. So her firm went bust. She got pregnant with Jimmy Ray, had a disabled child. Someone reported them to social services. Not me. It's not my style. She had been nasty to folk for years. He had been accused of wife beating. They had loads of political enemies. Okay, so as we've already established on this video, simply comparing Fiona's Piers Morgan interview clips to Laura Ray's Piers Morgan interview clips, we've already established who comes across more credible. Not only does Laura Ray come across more credible, but Fiona comes across very childish, petty, dishonest, and just a nightmare to deal with. So here on this post, you can see yet another example of Fiona's vile behavior. First, she says Laura's firm went bust because she got pregnant by Jimmy Ray and then had to point out that their baby was disabled. Then goes on to say they had been really nasty to folk for years and that Jimmy Ray had been accused of beating his previous wife. And they had loads of political enemies, which is why someone reported them to social services for beating their disabled child. And of course, Fiona has to emphasize that it wasn't her. It's not her style, y'all. Fiona doesn't do stuff like that. It was one of Laura and Jimmy Ray's many political enemies. But what she mentioned in passing on an email she wrote to Richard Gadd in 2015 hints that she actually did report Jimmy and Laura Ray to the police. Now, legal disclaimer, I am not claiming that this is factual. I am not saying this proves Fiona is 100% guilty. I am merely pointing out that going off this email, an email that has been submitted to the police by Richard Gadd and could be used by Netflix as evidence in the Fiona Harvey Netflix trial, that going by this email, it does appear she is admitting she did report Jimmy Ray and Laura Ray to the police. Even though this may not be 100% solid proof, it definitely raises enough suspicion to warrant a legal investigation. Now, Fiona explains to Richard why she did it and tries to justify her reason. And what she explains is in a different context from what Laura Ray has said. But one thing to keep in mind is that Fiona lies a lot, as I've already established in previous videos. So it would make sense for her to fabricate why she did it to not come across as a monster in Richard's eyes. So let's check out the email and then hear Laura Ray's side of things. All right, so here's the email you can see was sent on February 2nd, 2015, just 10 years ago. Very pushed for time for today, so there will be typos. Yeah, we already know that, Fiona. And right under that is the line in question. I'd also like to point out it was me who called police to Ray and Walker. I'd also like to point out it was me who called police to Ray and Walker. FYI, Walker being Laura Ray's maiden name. So as you can see, this appears to contradict the Facebook post where she says it's not her style to report people to the authorities. She appears here to admit she called the police on Jimmy and Laura Ray. But then she tries to justify why she did it. I could not get my law books worth thousands out of her office, and her staff would not release my degree and post-grad certificates and all my law society documentation. I had no choice. No cop was ever called to me. I've got maybe 30,000 pounds worth of owl books in my Kajurant office. These things cost a fortune. Okay, so she claims she didn't have a choice in the matter, but her explanation seems a bit fishy to me. I'll unpack that in a minute. But before I get to that, let's finish the rest of her email where she simply transitions into an entirely different topic, as only Fiona can. I hope you are eating properly and looking after yourself. Take a hot bath before bed and lavender under pillow. Do not take psychiatric remedies for sleep like the English do. You have an overactive mind, which is why you don't sleep. Plus, Yopu won't be getting laid properly. Need to go. F. All right, so I have three main reasons that I'm not buying Fiona's explanation. One, she only worked in Laura Ray's office for 2 weeks. Did she really load all of her law books up there in that short amount of time? Don't we think Laura probably would already have the necessary law books in the office? And when Laura tells her side of the story, which we'll get to soon, she never mentions anything about Fiona trying to get her books back, which makes me believe, don't know for sure, but makes me believe Fiona's lying. Two, if Fiona really did take her books there, why would Laura refuse to give them back to her? Are those books so valuable that Laura needs them? Can Laura not afford her own set of law books? Does she need to steal the trainees' law books? I guess the set of law books that Fiona had were better than the set of law books Laura had. So Laura just flat out refused to give them back. And three, if it was true that Fiona had her books there, but Laura didn't return them, it's likely due to legalities. Fiona was probably trespassed, and there may have been some kind of ongoing investigation, and Laura couldn't get them back until it concluded. But I'm sure Laura would have eventually returned them. Assuming what Fiona said was even true in the first place, in which I seriously doubt. Because if you think about it, it just doesn't make sense. Okay, so on this email Fiona wrote to Richard, she is admitting she called the police on Jimmy and Laura Ray. So by her own admission, she did do that. So now it's not a matter if she reported Jimmy and Laura Ray, but why she reported them. So as we've already established that Laura Ray comes across much more credible than Fiona, let's hear Laura's side of the story, and then I'll try to break it down as best I can.
She was rude to staff. She shouted at people. She was inappropriate with a male member of staff. She tried to follow a male member of staff home. I mean, all sorts of things happened. She threw a book across the office and hit somebody with it. So, you know, it was nasty stuff. She grabbed a phone from one of my members of staff who was on trying to explain something to a client who obviously was giving him some difficulty. And she then started shouting abuse down the phone at the client. So there was a whole number of these incidents. So I just said, well, I don't think, you're cut out for here.
Wow. What an elitist.
So I said to her, I'm afraid that's it. I paid her for the month. She'd only been there 2 weeks and obviously had done nothing apart from cause complete havoc. And then she said, I'm not leaving.
I guess Fiona's willing to die on this hill in a classic case of when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
I'm going to phone the Law Society. I'm not leaving. And she then started shouting and screaming, running around the office. And eventually my cashier and I, Caroline, had to get one arm on either side of her and actually march her out of the office.
Oh, well, I guess she is movable. You just need to get an extra person.
And she stood out there for at least half an hour screaming abuse. And that was when it all started. Thereafter, every day I'd come into the office, the answer phone would be full of messages, all from her, all threatening, nasty.
What kind of threats?
I'll get you. You're not going to get away with this. I'll get Jimmy Ray.
So we now see the motive behind why Fiona may want to report Laura Ray and her husband to the police. But notice Laura has not mentioned anything thus far about Fiona demanding her law books back. Nothing at all about any books. Fiona's messages have all been threats of revenge after being fired. And what better way to get revenge than to call police and falsely accuse you of child abuse? But actually, Fiona does that a few years down the road in retaliation to something else that Laura does. We'll get to that in a moment. Right now, Fiona has a different revenge plot that Laura's about to go into detail about.
The best things never change, they just get better. Like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Choose from juicy charbroiled double cheeseburgers, melty hot ham and cheeses, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wraps. 2 full-size favorites.
And how many was she leaving on a daily basis?
Well, the answer phone would be filled up.
How many was that, roughly?
I'm not sure how many messages, but she would rant on. It would take probably about an hour's worth of call.
Every day?
Every day.
Okay, so Laura says that after Fiona's termination, that she would come into the office every morning and her voicemail inbox would be full with about an hour of threatening messages from Fiona, which is very much in line with Richard Gadd's claim that Fiona sent him 41,000 emails and 350 voice messages. But of course, Fiona denies this.
In the course of your relationship with Richard Gadd, you send him 41,000 emails, 350 voice messages, 744 tweets, 48 Facebook messages, and 106 letters.
That's simply not true. If somebody was sending somebody 41,000 emails or something, they'd be doing how many a day? Lots.
Well, they'd be obsessively
Yeah, absolutely no. Absolutely no.
What did you send him?
No, none of that's true. I don't think I sent him anything.
How many do you think you sent him?
A handful.
Like
that.
What does that mean? How many?
Less than 10.
Okay, so 1 minute Fiona claims she didn't think she sent him anything, then says it was only a handful, then says it was less than 10. So does this really seem like a testimony of a credible person? Also, when I was encouraging viewers to go back and look at the 4-hour video I made reading Fiona's Facebook posts, you probably assumed that was covering posts she wrote in the last few years or so. But no, you would be wrong. It actually only covered about 2.5 weeks worth of Facebook posts. Yes, it took me 4 freaking hours to read all of her posts from a 10 to 11 day period. And yet she's going to act like Richard Gadd's crazy for saying she sent him 41,000 emails in a 5-year period. Is she also going to deny leaving all those voicemails to Laura Ray as well?
But it was pretty persistent for a couple of years. Also,
years?
Years. She did this for nearly 5 years. So what she would do, given that way back in 1997, This was really at the start of the internet, so people weren't emailing to the same extent they do now. What she would do would be phone up other solicitors or send them faxes with defamatory stuff about me, saying how terrible I was, how terrible the firm was, accusing people of everything under the sun.
And this is yet another point that strengthens Laura Ray's case and makes her more credible than Fiona, because everything she just said that Fiona did back in the late 90s is precisely what Fiona did on her Facebook posts in 2024. If you watch the 4-hour video I made reading those, you'll see tons of posts she wrote about Laura Ray, completely defaming and slandering her. Exactly what Laura just said Fiona did to her a couple decades ago. Everything Laura Ray says in this interview checks out, whereas most things Fiona said on her interview does not.
And then, I would get phone calls from people I didn't know who would say, I'm really embarrassed. I've had this fax through from this woman. I don't know her and I don't know you, but I thought I ought to bring it to your attention.
Okay, so after Laura terminated Fiona from her law firm, Fiona would harass Laura by filling her voicemail inbox every morning with threatening messages, and then would call and fax other law firms and smear Laura Ray and her law firm. So Fiona had not yet made the child abuse allegations against Laura and Jimmy Ray at this point. This actually happens a little later. And this is what Laura is about to get into.
She also claimed that you and your husband, Jimmy, who's sadly no longer with us, but he accused you of assaulting your 3-year-old son, Frankie, who was born with a rare chromosomal disorder.
Well, that was that was the point at which I thought I can take no more of this. I had heard from a lawyer some months before that, who phoned me, who'd taken her on. And he said to me that he was in a terrible state because he'd fired her. And he went home that night to find 2 social workers at his door. The police were involved. It was all taken very seriously. And the accusation was that he'd been abusing his children. This went to the children's schools and so on. This man was on his knees and really upset. And I said, well, all I could do is perhaps speak to the sort of things she's done to me.
Okay, so just to clarify this timeline, the lawyer that contacted Laura called her to inquire about Fiona. So if I'm understanding this correctly, after Fiona was fired from Laura's firm, this attorney later hired Fiona, and in a shocking twist, he ended up firing her.
I know for sure worked with another firm after myself and was fired from there, and caused that firm a lot of grief.
Who could have seen that coming? And so in retaliation, Fiona called the police and said that the man who fired her was abusing his kids. And so when he came home from work that night, he had social services waiting for him at the front door. And shortly after that was when he reached out to Laura Ray, I'm guessing to try to get someone to testify how loony Fiona Harvey is to help clear his name with police. And little did Laura know at the time that Fiona would do the exact same thing to her in the future.
So when I was going to go to the bar in 2003, I had to do some exams the year before that. So I went to Strathclyde University. And who's the first person I see when I get to the university to start doing a couple of classes but her? I couldn't believe it because at that point it had gone a bit quiet. And there she was. And from then on, she followed me around the university.
Watch what CPAPs do if you snore. Number 1, they can cause gas and bloating. I'd wake up every morning feeling like...
She would stand right up beside me and so on. So I complained to the professor at the university. And again, stalking wasn't really taken that seriously by people. I think people just assumed, oh, it's 2 women who just don't get on or something like that. So he said, oh, well, I've checked her records and she's not registered as a student here, so I've got no locus over her. And I said, well, if she's not registered as a student, can you not just throw her out, get security? And so I don't like to do that. Now, by the end of the university year, I got a letter to say that he apologised because she'd gone on to upset a number of members of staff, harass them, and other students. So she knew that I'd made a complaint about them. So one day, just after I made the complaint, I go home to find 2 social workers at my door saying to me, you know, we have some very serious allegations. So I said to them, well, come in. And I said, before you say anything to me, I said, and I do understand you've got a job to do and it's a very important job. I said, but I want to tell you what I think is going on here. So I explained to them about the other lawyer. I explained to them everything and they confirmed, oh yes, it's a woman who says that she's at university with you. Now, initially she gave a false name of another student and it wasn't the other student because I contacted the other student. But to cut a long story short, she made 5 complaints to the social work department, eventually screaming at them down the phone, demanding that my severely disabled son be taken into care. Now, to my mind, that was the point at which I thought, no, enough is enough. I'm not having this. I'm not having this poor child beleaguered in that way. So I contacted the police. The police didn't do anything.
So according to Laura Ray here, the one that we've established is the more credible witness, Fiona started stalking Laura Ray on a university campus a few years after Laura fired her. So then Laura complains to a professor at the university that Fiona is stalking her, and that since Fiona isn't even a registered student at the university, can you please just kick her off the campus for harassing students? But the professor didn't really take her seriously, so didn't do anything about it. But Fiona found out Laura made the complaint, and so she retaliated by calling the police and telling them that Laura and Jimmy Ray were abusing their disabled son. So a couple days later is when Laura Ray came home to find social services at her door, just like what Fiona did to the other attorney who fired her. Okay, so let me go ahead and wrap this up and try to tie this all together. All right, so now that we've heard Laura Ray's side of things, I wanted to bring it back to the email in question. So I'm going to read it over again real quick. Very pushed for time for today, so there will be typos. And here is the line in question. I'd also like to point out it was me who called police to Ray and Walker. I'd also like to point out it was me who called police to Ray and Walker. I could not get my law books worth thousands out of her office, and her staff would not release my degree and post-grad certificates and all my Law Society documentation. I had no choice. No cop was ever called to me. I've got maybe 30,000 pounds worth of law books in my current office. These things cost a fortune. I went into so much detail in this video so we could examine this email and try to figure out if this could be considered an admission of guilt. I would think that if it could be proven that one went to the police with false allegations against a person, that there would be some kind of legal ramifications from it. Of course, if Fiona was telling Richard Gadd the truth and she only called police on Laura and Jimmy Ray to recover her books, then of course, that's perfectly fine. But going by the details of this video, does anyone really believe that is why she called the police on Laura and Jimmy Ray? So, Fiona, during your 2 weeks of working at Laura Ray's law firm, you took your expensive set of law books to the office. And when you were fired, you were not allowed to take your books with you. And Laura Ray refused to send your books back to you for some reason. Therefore, your only course of action, the only choice you had, as you said on the email, was to call the police. Okay, but if you called the police to help you get your books back from Laura Ray's office, why did you mention you called the police on Laura Ray and on Jimmy Ray? What does Jimmy Ray have to do with your books that are in Laura's office? Why bring him into a matter between you and Laura? Because from the outside looking in, it appears what you wrote on the email to Richard, that you called police on both Jimmy and Laura Ray, was regarding the false accusation of them both abusing their disabled son. But you didn't want to admit to Richard it was a false report made up out of spite. So you created a story about how Laura wouldn't return your books because you were hoping Richard would see you as the victim and understand why you called the police and then be on your side. Of course, this is just my theory, but based on everything we've learned about Fiona Harvey, it's very plausible. Also, if when you, Fiona, called the police on Laura Ray and Jimmy Ray for some reason, just to try to get your books back, then who was it that actually did call the police and report that Jimmy and Laura Ray were both abusing their disabled son? Who caused social services to show up on Laura and Jimmy Ray's doorstep?
Did you order the code red?
That information should be pretty easy to track down. Who made that call if it wasn't you, Fiona? I want the truth. You can handle the truth. Also, it's funny how during Laura Ray's entire interview here, she never mentions anything about you calling police to get your books back. Not a single word about any books, except for the one you threw across the room and hit someone with.
She threw a book across the office and hit somebody with it.
And in all of those Facebook posts you wrote, I don't recall, and I could be wrong, maybe I just don't remember since there were so many posts, but I don't remember you ever mentioning anything about Laura Ray not returning your law books. I would think that if that were true, you'd be shouting it from the mountaintops, especially over social media. So very funny that Laura Ray refused to give you your property back and you just stayed quiet about it. Okay. And again, I am not saying any of this is factual. I'm just pointing out evidence that, like I said before, I think is suspicious enough to warrant an investigation and let the authorities figure out what is factual.
Have you ever met Richard Gadd?
No.
Because I put this question to her about how unusual it is to have somebody stalking two completely different people, both of whom, by her estimation, are fantasizing. Let's take a look. Why would two people who have no contact with each other at all, Laura Ray and Richard Gadd, why would they both portray you as a very unpleasant
I don't know why Richard Gadd has, but Laura Walker, it was certainly because I was going for parliamentary selection.
The two different, you get my point, two different people.
Yeah, but Richard Gadd has Googled that. Richard Gadd has used that as
well, that's in the drama,
show.
Is when they find out that you had previously harassed this family.
I haven't harassed that family.
Previously harassed this family.
I haven't harassed that family. I didn't harass that family.
When you saw that exchange, what went through your mind?
I was horrified. I mean, I've actually watched your interview a few times because the first time I saw it, I was in such shock watching her, seeing her, it just brought it all back again. And I've watched it several times to see what is it she's saying about me. And it's unbelievable that after the things she did, that she can say she wasn't harassing my family. Of course she was harassing my family.
For many years.
For many years. For longer than Richard Gadd.
Do you have a message for her if she's watching this?
Well, I think my message would be, I think you need to get some help. I think you need to get psychiatric help as soon as possible. And I think you need to get off Facebook.
So what do you think it is that's, excuse me, that is motivating her silence? Because see, I thought the case was proceeding and the attorneys finally got her to be quiet. I thought that's why she's been quiet. Because I thought if the case had been thrown out, I thought she would be all over social media, or at least all over Facebook, posting 30 posts every day, 200 posts a week. No, UNF. No, I was, see the comment displayed? Jen said something's motivated her silence. I was asking her. I was responding to her post, to her comment. Money, but why? How's she going to get money if the case is getting thrown out, though? So the case is getting thrown out or whatever, then she knows she's not going to get any money. So the only way she would be motivated by money is if this case is proceeding. Well, I don't think she's on a support group anymore, or at least that's what I've been told, is that a support group is not on Facebook anymore. Is it still there? Because maybe it could be that there's a different one, or maybe they were blocked off of it. That's possible too. Okay. Oh. That could be. That's possible. You never know. Hold on, I'm going back and playing another segment for Jen because she didn't watch the video before. So I'm going to play this sequence.
Compare their testimonies and see who we believe comes across more credible.
Finally, a meal service that works for men. Cook Unity sends you delicious restaurant-quality meals straight to your door.
Let me ask you, The Sun reported an interview with Laura Ray.
See, that's how you know right there that someone's not even listening to you. Just very condescending. And you can tell from her body language, she doesn't care about anything he's saying, and all she's doing is waiting to talk. People like that are a nightmare to deal with. So annoying.
You've referenced to accused you of inappropriate behaviour whilst you work with her. Now, the background to this is that you came into contact with the late Glasgow MP Jimmy Ray, who died aged 78 in 2013, and his solicitor wife Laura, who was 62, when she was a former Labour Party member. Mrs. Ray said that she gave Aberdeen University law graduate you did graduate from Aberdeen?
Yes, yes.
With a law degree. A trainee role at a legal firm, McPhail Lawrence Partnership, in 1997. Is that true?
It was called L&L Lawrence. I think she forgets the name of her own firm. It was called L&L Lawrence.
You claimed in our interview that you didn't even know the name of your own firm.
Okay, so as we just heard how condescendingly Fiona stated that Laura Ray is so incompetent that she doesn't even know the name of her own law firm, let's see if Laura Ray can offer some type of explanation to refute Fiona's disparity.
She required to have in Scotland.
At least she's consistent.
And caused that firm a...
Fiona claims.
I mean, she certainly, I don't think she ever got a traineeship in Scotland. She, I know for sure, worked with another firm after myself and was fired from there, and caused that firm a lot of grief.
Okay, so after Laura had to fire Fiona from her own firm, which we're about to get into, Laura says Fiona started working at another law firm and was also fired from that firm. Well, at least she's consistent.
She said that she had to sack you days later because you were completely incapable of behaving yourself.
I walked. Her staff were really, really rude to me.
Okay, if you look at the video I made reading her Facebook posts, you'll see she complains about everyone, everywhere she goes. She complained about her barber at the hair salon. She complained about a guy walking his dog in front of her apartment building. She complained about her movers. She complained about not having food because the restaurant she called was rude when she tried to place her order. She even complained about a handicapped man on a motorized cart taking up too much space in the aisle at the grocery store. She complains about everything and everyone. And yes, she also complained about Piers Morgan a couple days after this interview. So yeah, I think I'm going to believe Laura Ray on this matter.
She then said that following you leaving, obviously very quickly, that you then harassed her. You were then known as Fiona Muir, obviously, as you said, Muir Harvey. Mrs. Ray said she was so frightened she issued workers at her firm with personal alarms. You were then served an interim interdict to stop you from contacting the law.
Again, with the insufferable, condescending moans. She sounds like a cow going into labor. I really hope this trial with Netflix is televised. Miss Harvey, it's come to the court's attention that you have an extensive history of stalking. And that not only did you stalk Richard Gadd and Laura Walker, aka Laura Ray, but also Daily Mail journalist Neil Sears and British politician George Galloway. Is this true, Miss Harvey?
Why would two people who have no contact with each other at all, Laura Ray and Richard Gadd, why would they both portray you as a very unpleasant
I don't know why Richard Gadd has, but Laura Walker, it was certainly because I was going for parliamentary selection.
Yeah, that sounds accurate. Laura Ray was intimidated by your brilliance and felt threatened that you were going to get the position she wanted. So she started a smear campaign against you in a desperate attempt to sully your good name. Man, these politicians are cutthroat.
Two different, you get my point, two different people.
Yeah, but Richard Gadd has Googled that. Richard Gadd has used that as
well, that's in the drama.
Show.
Is when they find out that you had previously harassed this family.
I haven't harassed that family.
Well, I guess that depends on your definition of harassment. Because as I said at the start of this video, I discovered a bit of a smoking gun between Fiona's Facebook posts and her email.
All right, that's pretty much it. I was just showing Jen the beginning of it because she hadn't watched it yet. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. Does anyone else have any other questions or comments? Because I am getting tired. I think I want to go to sleep soon. Okay, so you just think she's a narcissist, but you don't think she's mentally ill? I think she's mentally ill. Yeah. Yeah, I think she's mentally ill. Yeah, those all those emails That's mental illness. I mean, I understand like somebody can be, you know, emotionally immature. They might send you a few too many emails. But usually, I mean, it's going to be like 4 or 5. Not 400 or 500. You know, yeah, she's potentially dangerous. Yeah, for sure. She got in the right situation. See, that's another thing. Like, she's calm here with peers. Imagine if she's actually angry. What would she do in the heat of the moment? Imagine if there was a weapon around. So you got to be really careful around people with mental issues because they can't control their anger. If they get in a fit of rage, that's why some of them go to court and then they plead insanity. So that's what somebody like her would do. Yep. I agree with that. Yeah, she's mentally ill. That's not normal. Her stalking and just the way she does it. It's like she can't, and notice she does it with everybody. I mean, there's lots of narcissists in the world. They don't act like that. You know. I do think she is a narcissist as well. I think she's got narcissistic personality disorder as well. And she's definitely got some type of mental illness. Seems to me like she's got borderline personality disorder. No, you can be mentally ill and turn it off for a short period. You got to think she's only on this interview for less than an hour. What you're getting mixed up with, I don't want to speak factually. I think what you're getting mixed up with is someone who's mentally challenged. She's not mentally challenged, she's mentally ill. There's a difference. Like, someone mentally challenged can't turn it on and off. Like, if you've got Down syndrome, you can't turn that off. So I don't think she's mentally challenged, I think she's mentally ill, which is different. Yeah, because that posting frequency is not normal. Those emails are not normal. Right, but I don't know. There's other narcissists. The excessive emails, that's not narcissistic. That's something different. The way she makes everything about her is narcissistic. No, it's fine. You can say, you can have your opinion. I mean, obviously you can have your opinion. So I'm not like, combating. I'm just giving my opinion. Yeah, that's true, but Ted Bundy had other things. It wasn't narcissism alone. Ted Bundy had a lot of things. He's a psychopath, a sociopath. He had absolutely no emotion. I don't know. Was he mentally ill? I don't know. I mean, a sociopath's not necessarily mentally ill. Yeah, I'm not. But see, yes, narcissists may kill people, but that's just something some narcissists will do. There's going to be something else. Just sheer narcissism doesn't make you murder people. There's something else mixed with it. Now, I mean, if a narcissist got angry, sure, they could, or a narcissist like pre-planned to have someone murdered for some reason. Yeah, they can do that. But I'm saying that, like, Fiona's got, yeah, her behavior is very odd. She's got other things in addition. Yeah, yeah, I'm not saying Ted Bundy was insane. Yeah, I'm not saying Ted Bundy's insane. I'm saying he was a psychopath. Which he was. You would agree with that, right? That Ted Bundy was a psychopath and a sociopath, correct? So, yes, he's a narcissist, but he's also a psychopath and a sociopath. Right? I don't think I think a psychopath is a personality disorder, isn't it? Let me see. Let's see if we Google it, if it has any information. What is would it be psychopathy? Okay, I'm not spelling it correctly. Psychopathy, is that right? Okay, here we go. And see, these questions have come up because it's right at the top. Is it genetic? Is it mental illness or personality disorder? So what did I said? It's a personality disorder. That's my guess. Hang on. Yes, psychopathy is considered a personality disorder. Well, now let me look back and see if it's a mental illness as well. Okay, yeah. Well, it says it's considered mental illness. So yeah, Ted Bundy was mentally ill or personality disorder. I think he's a person had a personality disorder. Well, I don't know. And it's okay. And it's fine if we don't agree. It's not a big deal. I mean, because as time goes on, we'll learn more about like Fiona Harvey and find out more details. I really think she is. But like I said, we'll give it some more time. We'll see. Yeah. Yep. I think Ted Bundy is both. Definitely a psychopath and sociopath. But I am about to go ahead and close this out because I have to get going. I'm tired. So I will see you guys on the next one. Maybe I'll make another one and try to go over yep, you got here right at the end. Yep. Maybe I'll try to go over some documents on another video or another live stream and go over some of those declarations and other exhibits and stuff, because I still have a lot of them that I downloaded like in the summer. So, all right, until next time.